This is Life and Leadership, and we are about to start in a few minutes.
We have almost everyone on.
So, let's see where this one takes us.
Thank you for bearing with me and meeting out here today. It actually feels pretty good out here in the shade. There's a little bit of a breeze, so don't feel bad, but I wanted to make sure everyone that wanted to be in person at first day could. I normally try not to spend the first day just going over the syllabus, but this semester is just a little weird, and so I wanted to make sure there's plenty of time for us to kind of talk about some of the assignments and how classes work, and then that'll mostly be what we do today. Normally I start with introducing everyone, but I'm actually going to go over some stuff first, and then we're going to do that, and it'll make sense why in a little while. So online folks, I want to make sure you can hear me okay. If I can get some thumbs up emojis or someone saying, yes, it sounds good. Okay,
yeah,
good.
you're all good.
Thank you very much. All right, so online folks, please feel like you can interrupt, you can chat, you can say, hey, let me know if you can't hear me. And I want to make sure that you are having a good session as well, but you may have to be proactive about letting me know about that. All right, so this class is Life and Leadership. You're all transfer students. Some of you may, let me rephrase that. Give me either a thumbs up on the emojis or raise your hand if you feel like you already took this class at the previous institution. No? Kind of? Maybe? Okay. All right, anybody online? Maybe? Okay. So this is very much like a freshman seminar, what they would call it some sort of freshman seminar class. Ours is a little bit different. We call it a distinctive because there's some specific things about Concordia that we want to make sure that you're exposed to. But it is not the freshman course. So we recognize that you're not freshmen. And this is not the same thing. While you're going through a transition period to a new school, this isn't your first rodeo. And so I'm not going to spend a bunch of time talking to you about how to study for tests or time management, although, you know, I graduated from 3 degrees and I still could do some time management tips. But I think that you're kind of in a different place in life. And so we're going to work through, we're going to talk about some things, but it really is tailored for transfer students. We are going to talk about leadership, obviously, but this class is really big on self-reflection. So my goal for you is to learn a lot more about yourself. And there's some different ways we're going to do that throughout this semester. It's also big participation class. So you're not going to have a ton of homework. There's going to be some reading. I think there's one major paper that you'll do, and by major, I think it's like 5 to 7 pages. So if you're a junior or senior, that's sort of normal. And there's another larger scale assignment that'll be about the common read, but most of the stuff's done in class. And so it's important that you're here, either virtually or in person, to participate. It's a huge chunk of your grade. And the way that I handle that, when I'm in person, I would give students this note card, it's just a regular study card, and ask you to fill it out at the end of class. So you would put your name and the date, and some days you would say, just tell me something about the class. What did you like? What did you not like? What did you think was stupid? What did you already know? But what was enlightening? What was something that you never thought of before? And put it on that, something that tells me you were there. Some days I will have a prompt. I will say, today on the card, I want you to do X. I want you to answer something. Over time, I'll open up more and more modules for whatever we're doing in class that day. But the actual assignments and stuff we have to turn in is going to just be under that assignments block. I try to make it easy where you have one spot that you guys get to turn stuff in. Write that submission, and that's how I'm going to assign you your participation points. Does that make sense for everybody? Any questions? All right, before I stop sharing, I wanted to go through some of the other features on here. I'm going to go back to assignments so you can see some of those. I have a pre-assessment survey. If you could complete that, that's great. It's not worth any points. If you don't, that's fine. It just tells me where you are. And also gives me some tips on things that maybe I should spend a little bit more time on versus others. Strengths Finder assessment is something else that's listed on there. If you're in the Tornado Textbook program, which is the rental program, you will get that emailed to you in the next couple of days. You'll know you're in that program unless you absolutely filled out a form to opt out. Everyone's automatically enrolled unless you actively ask to be opted out. So you'll get an email. It's actually going to be a test, an assessment. You'll take that. It'll give you your top 5 strengths, and it also includes the book that tells you all about those strengths. Okay. As soon as you do that, take that test, and then there'll be a link on here that takes you to a shared document where you can put in your strengths. So I can compile them all together. We'll talk about those strengths quite a bit. I want to go over the books, and so the first book that I'm going to talk about, well, I talked about strengths first, that's really the first book. Second one is this Habitudes book, so you should have gotten that from the bookstore as well. If you are ordering them online and opted out of the rental program, make sure you get the correct one because there is a lot of different versions of this. This book has images. We're not going to do all the images, but we'll do most of them. It is super easy reading. For example, this first image, the iceberg, is literally 2 pages of reading, okay? But for me to write it in Blackboard, you have to submit something. And so when you go to submit it, you're just going to tell me what strengths you used to create this presentation. And you'll get those because you'll have your top 5 strengths. It's just so that you have a submission. So don't get, if you did a PowerPoint, if I required that, that might be what you submit, but I don't. Because it's a 5 to 7 minute presentation. It is not big. And so you'll just have to submit that so that I have something that I can attach a grade to. Does that make sense? Awesome. Okay, the other thing, I'm going to stop sharing so I don't think you need to look at it. The importance of getting connected and involved with the university, it significantly increases your chances of graduating, makes for a bigger and better experience. We're all about that. So I am requiring everyone to attend 5 events. They can be virtual or in person. We should have a hefty mixture of both. They can do the same thing. Like if you want to attend chapel 5 times, then that's fine. You can do that. And chapel is offered virtually or in person, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10. There's a discussion board on Blackboard that you can find under assignments. And you're just going to post a selfie or a picture of a program or some sort of evidence that you were there. I had a couple of people in my last class say, well, what about things I already attended? I went to Flashlight Tag, I went to the All Movie, and I didn't take a picture of myself because I didn't know. That's fine. Just write me 2 or 3 sentences that convinces me you were there, and you can add that on there. Okay? And I need 5 by the end of the 8 weeks. All right? Any questions about that? Oh, I've got some chats on. Oh, they're probably just telling me they can hear me. Who can I contact if I did not receive my books in the mail? You can take a look at your grades. I will talk about this week, reminding you what's due and what's happening, and then any housekeeping things. And so we have a team for our Life and Leadership section, and this, it has a chat function. So I'm going to chat for those that are on Teams, and you can see it. I'm on Teams all the time, and it's also on my phone. So in terms of how to get a hold of me, email or Teams chat is probably the best. I've included my cell phone on there. You're more than welcome to call me. If it's super late, I just won't answer. But I am a night owl, so don't be, go ahead and text or call me, even if it's really late. If you're worried about something, if I can't get to you that night, then no, I'll get to you first thing in the morning.
So that was my Life and Leadership course intro, a little more lengthy than the advanced writing. The advanced writing was pretty repetitive, but this one was a little more discussing since Concordia switched from Google Drive to Microsoft Office. So they were discussing more about that. And overall, it sounds like an interesting course, except for the religion aspect, because, I'm an atheist, and why I'm going to a Lutheran college, I have no idea. As I always say, I must have been drunk, even though I don't drink. But, yeah, it's just gonna... it'll work out. I spoke with her privately before, or I spoke with her privately after class, and she said, we'll make it work. You won't have to read any Bible verses or anything like that. So that's, reassuring on my part. So I don't feel discriminated like I would at first, because at first when I heard about the Concordia Common Experience, which is a variety of religious courses students have to take, I was like, okay, this is pure discrimination. But since they're willing to bend the curriculum for students who are not religious, which I think is only appropriate. If you're gonna, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but there's some religious schools that will not do that. They're like, you have to convert or something like that. I'm not getting those vibes from Concordia. It's still a little uncomfortable that I have to take those kinds of classes, but to graduate, it's a little uncomfortable for me, but it is what it is.